Welcome back. You're watching Newsx. My name is Vineet Malhotra. A wave of attacks and chaos continues in Pakistan after the shaking of Baluchistan train hijack, in which the Baloch rebels claim to have killed 214 Pakistani army personnel. Another blast has hit a Pakistani army convoy, while reports suggest that 11 Pakistani army personnel have been killed in the Noshki blast. The BLA claims to have taken down 90 Pakistani army personnel. While Pakistan fights this surge in Baluchistan, Abu Qatar, a key aide of Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists and 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed, has been killed. Abu Qatar was LET's handler in Poonch Rajouri and responsible for the 2023 Dangri attack, which claimed the lives of 7 locals. We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee, former diplomat, Mr. S.P. Vaid, former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, also with us on the program. Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, joins us on the show. Last but not the least, Major General A.K. Sivaj, former head of Territorial Army and geostrategic defense expert, with us on the program as well. Ambassador Mukherjee, I'll begin with you. You know, something comes to my mind when we look at what's happening in Pakistan. It's a very simple thing that we learned perhaps in 3rd or 4th grade. And there was a poem about reaping what you sow. Is that the phase that Pakistan is going through at this point in time? And you know, there is obviously this matter of karma also that should be brought up in front of the Pakistanis, who thought that terror would only benefit them.
Very well said, Vineet. In fact, very appropriate. Yes, they are reaping what they've sown and getting back a bigger harvest than they expected. They have actually sowed the seed of their own destruction. They are self-imploding. They have become the epicenter of terror, and the terror is turning on its own handlers, so to speak, which is the Pakistani deep state. Here we have find, on one hand, Baluchistan is on the verge of moving away, getting away from Pakistan and declaring its independence if it continues in this manner. And on the other, it is a matter of great satisfaction to all of us Indians sitting on this panel and listening to the broadcast, that the nephew of the mastermind of 2611 and a key LET operative who was handler of terrorist attacks on Indian soil has been shot dead. This is something that we welcome, and we hope that all the others, there are I think 3 more who are wanted by INIA, that somehow delayed justice is given to the those who sacrificed their lives, and that they are all assassinated, because justice delayed again is justice denied. In this particular case, justice was delayed. It's not been denied, at least for one person. All the others must be brought to justice. In the meantime, what is happening in Baluchistan indicates that it's only a matter of time before it will spread to the neighboring province, which is equally restless. And both, I believe, the forces in both provinces have joined hands. So it's only a matter of time before we can see the actual implosion of Pakistan into the rump state of Punjab and Sindh, which of course causes one particular concern, which is that I'm told that there are nuclear weapons which are stored in Baluchistan in 3 sites. This might fall into the hands of the BLA. It could be used against the Pakistanis, but the point is that to store nuclear weapons in such a volatile area, which is not under full control of the Pakistani deep state, again is a huge strategic blunder, and I am sure that the Americans will intervene on this matter very soon, sooner rather than later. Vineet.
Sumit Peer, well, you know, this was a man who was most wanted. He was the architect of a number of attacks in Jammu and Kashmir, and he killed and ordered killings indiscriminately. He did not care if it was a civilian or a soldier who died. He, in fact, believed in a philosophy which wanted to, of course, implement something analogous to Ghazwa-e-Hind, and that's exactly what his mission was. What do you make of his killing? And what welcome news is this for all those people who are hoping that these men are brought to books?
Vinny, thank you very much for having me on your show. This is a very good news from an Indian security perspective, because this man has been longest surviving terrorist so far. I mean, he lived for more than 2 decades now, and he was still going on. He's the right-hand man of Hafiz Saeed, and possibly all the right-hand men of such people are related to them. If you look at even Hassan Nasrullah, all his bodyguards were his sons-in-law. He had married everybody to one of his daughters. So these are very close-knit family, and they control a lot of things. This man has been protected by ISI, this has been protected by Lashkar and Pakistan forces and everybody. Now the elimination of this man is very clear message. If you look at the pattern of killings which have happened in Pakistan, you don't take out the top man at the first. You start from the bottom and start elevating the pedestal. Because when you elevate the pedestal, because if you take out the top man, a new man will come and a new organization will come. So if you start eliminating the organization and start climbing up the ladder, the organization becomes redundant and the top man is useless. That is what is being done. There's a very, very clear message sent to Hafiz Saeed and likes of him. You are within the hitting range. You don't think ISI and Pakistan army and military can protect you. They can't protect their own. They lost their 215 men. When Vineet were on Newsx, they got these 200 coffins. I told you they are for their own men. They were not getting coffins for Baloch people. They are for their own men. And I told on Newsx that it's a matter of time before Ramzan. Pakistan army will get another gift from Baloch. And today it has come true. Look, 90 soldiers slaughtered today, and it's how many days back did I tell you in the month of Ramadan?
Well, the Pakistani army is refuting that number, Sumit. They're saying 5, but an entire bus has exploded and they're saying there are 5 people in it.
You need to look at the pictures. Then why did they get 200? Why did they get? There were 214 hostages. They got 200 coffins. Today, a complete bus and a complete couple of vehicles are decimated, and they say 5 died. Even in the Bannu, they said only 2 died. But you know, in Balu, the casualties were around 120. Now this shameless army doesn't know they are hiding even their dead. They don't know what number to give, because it's a shame for them. And whatever they were claiming, they did an operation, they liberated the train, they liberated the hostages. This was all bunkum. This was all a bunch of lies. Because these people have lost Baluchistan. And let me tell you another important information today. Before Eid, they will get one more gift from TTP, and on Eid, and on the day of Eid, a couple of smaller gifts will come to them. I'm telling you on national TV. And they have just now eliminated a man called Shakur Munir. He's from Lashkar-e-Islam. This elimination has been done by ISI just some time back. You will come to know in some time that it has happened. So there is a complete turmoil within the ISI. And where is the new ISI chief? He is nowhere to be seen. The ISI chief, the ISI could say that we could ferment trouble across the world and we could get India to its knees. Today the position is the same ISI doesn't have a head and tail, and Pakistani army, Vinny, did not even attempt to rescue their own. Rather than what did they do? They got 200 coffins to take away the dead bodies. That is the reality. And today, if you look at this massacre, what is the intel of Pakistan? Where is the military intelligence? And Asim Munir used to brag, I have headed ISI, I have headed military intelligence, and I am now the army chief. I am a 3-in-1. So if this is happening under 3-in-1, his equation is gone. When Brass was made, the amalgamation of all Baloch forces, did ISI have a head and tail? When Bashir Zayed went to Iran, did ISI have a head and tail? I'm telling you, they have just eliminated Shakir Munir. You will come to know in some time. And I had openly told them, you will get one more gift by Baloches before Eid, and on Eid you're going to get one more big one, and TTP possibly is going to give one more gift. With all these things which are in the open media, Vineet, it is very clear. जहाँ भी जाओगे, बच के कहीं नहीं जाओगे. आज his name is Abdul Rahman. Qatil something. Qatil ka aaj qatil ho gaya. That is a very short and a sweet point. And wherever you are, whoever you are, whoever is protecting you will come and get you.
Well said, Sumit. Well said, Sumit. Mr. Vaid, your assessment of the situation in Jammu and Kashmir and how this man has been responsible for trying to take advantage of certain caveats that the Lashkar-e-Taiba has exploited in the past, and now he's dead.
Good afternoon, Vineet. I wish Sumit P's premonitions come true, and many more gifts to Pakistan ISI and their establishment. Coming to your question,
he's a political clairvoyant, sir.
Yeah. See, the way he butchered, Shiv Khodi Yatris on the day when Prime Minister and his cabinet was swearing in on 9th June, if you recall. this man was behind it. And many attacks in Rajouri Punch, including Batta Duriya, attacks on the army, attacks on the VDCs. In fact, he was operating from Kotli launching pad and pushing in many people for infiltration in Rajouri Punch sector. Go back about a year, things were quite disturbing in Rajouri Punch, and he being very close associate of Hafiz Saeed was actually instrumental in creating situation that bad in Rajouri Punch, and was responsible for many attacks. I'm glad he's gone. Brings a lot of justice to people who suffered, who had come for darshan of Shiv Khodi and lost. Imagine the day when new government was taking over in Delhi. So I think the clock of justice comes, as you said in the beginning to Madam Mukherjee, the karma catches you. See, whatever. In fact, every day when I hear about these things in how Pakistan army is now going through, I feel last 35 years, whatever they have done here, they are now getting it back. And I somehow, I have no mercy for, no sympathy for Pakistan establishment. I feel very happy they are getting back what they have done, not only to India, to the whole world. And things are very bad. If you just recall Maulana Fazlur Rahman, who is actually establishment man and did not say everything in 100%, but just recall his speech and his address to the speaker in the National Assembly that Baluchistan, we have 6-7 districts where there is absolutely no control of the army and police. In fact, the freedom fighters are ruling roost there. Pakistan is in very bad state. You talk of even the area adjoining Afghanistan, they have actually lost much of it. I think, as Maulana Fazlur Rahman said in the National Assembly, that there is absolutely no control of the police and Pakistan government, including the army. It is the TTP which is ruling in that area. So both areas, TTP and BLA, is giving hell of time to Pakistan army, and I think they are in for a big trouble. I will not be surprised if very soon freedom is declared in Baluchistan.
All right. Jal Sivaj, the army is obviously under a lot of stress after these attacks, and we all know that the army has been running and ruling Pakistan, posturing its proxies, to give one message to the Awam of Pakistan and to the rest of the world, and operating in the shadows, which finally has caught up with them. Do you think that these spate of attacks and these people who are recruited by the army and the ISI now dying one by one is a big signal of the beginning of the end of the state of Pakistan as we know it?
Absolutely, there is no doubt about it. See, whatever Pakistan army has cultivated, now they are reaping that only. Now the point which is there is, see, Hillary Clinton, when she came in 2013, she warned them that if you have snakes in your courtyard and you think they will only bite your neighbor, one day they will bite you. So today this Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is biting them, and this terrorism is not been created from outside, it's created by Pakistan itself. And therefore today it has become such a big monster they can't handle. As far as Baluchistan is concerned, it was never part of Pakistan. It was forcibly occupied Pakistan in 1948, and immediately after 48 there are 4 times the insurgency which has taken place, and they don't want to stay in Pakistan for the reason is simple, because Pakistanis are exploiting them. They are the largest province with the rich mineral resources like zinc, copper, cobalt, gas and oil, but they are poorest. Their per capita income 1/3 of the other provinces of Pakistan. The inflation is the highest, unemployment is almost 78%. So the point which coming is the Baluchistan Liberation Army is becoming stronger day by day and hitting them hard. Now 3 attacks in a span of 48 hours can shake up any country. Imagine first time in the world a train has been hijacked, Jafar Express, and 214 soldiers have been martyred. And now at the same time you see what has happened in Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. A post was attacked by the TTP and that is still been occupied. Number of Pakistani soldiers were killed, but Pakistan hide actual figures. And now this Abu Qatil has been killed, and this is a very good news. Today the explosion which has taken place in Baluchistan, that again is a eye-opener. There are approximately, though the BLA is claiming that 90 soldiers were killed, but one can assume safely whosoever was in that bus where the suicide attack has taken place has not survived, and that can't be less than 25 to 30 people. So therefore the point is that the Pakistan is in turmoil. Pakistan is not at all in control of the things. It looks to me a political instability, economic crisis, and ever increasing terrorism. Now it looks as if there is going to be a civil war and the Pakistan will break into 4. That is your Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Baluchistan, Sindh, Punjab, and POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan will join India. And that is all happening because Pakistan follow dual standard as far as terrorism is concerned. The terrorists which they sent toward India, Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, they call them a good terrorist. And terrorism which bite them like TTP, they call them a bad terrorist. And that's why they are not able to fight against terrorism, because they have double standard as far as terrorism is concerned. And Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, the way Hafiz Saeed is considered as a Robin Hood and as semi-god, then what will be the fate of that country? Now this Abu Qatil who has been killed, he has come in Jammu and Kashmir from 2000 to 2005, then exfiltrated. He was the mastermind who was operating from Kotli and was coordinating all operations south of Pir Punjab, be it Rajouri, Poonch or Jammu region. So his elimination today is also a signal, one can say with a lot of sincerity, that Pakistan deserves what it gets it. And Pakistan is really in a big trouble. To me, it looks like that Pakistan is actually going for a civil war, Vinny.
All right. Ambassador Mukherjee, with Imran Khan also in jail, and there are perhaps forces that are trying to get him out, including some European nations and the Americans too, keen on restoring some sort of a peace in Pakistan. How do you think these developments of this violence and this implosion in Pakistan will play out with India?
For the moment, there is a ceasefire that is holding on the India-Pakistan border. But as Pakistan descends rapidly into an internal civil war, we would need to strengthen our presence on the India-Pakistan border so as to ensure that there are no refugee flows into India in case of the turmoil becoming uncontrollable, in case there is great shortage of food, in case there are attacks which the deep state cannot control. You cannot rule out refugee flows. Those refugee flows would also include jihadis. So we cannot permit any flows into India from the India-Pakistan border. And secondly, there is this whole issue of Pakistan's large nuclear arsenal. Is this arsenal safe? Will the Americans be able to secure it for the security of Pakistan and its neighboring countries, especially India? That's the second issue, which is of deep concern. Thirdly, if it does indeed descend into the rump state of Punjab and Sindh on one hand, and other states break away, we would have to watch and wait very carefully. Is that the time for us to move and take back POK? Is that the time for us to move into a military operation, or should we adopt a wait and watch policy? These are all issues that our policy makers at the highest level, I'm sure, must be already figuring out. Our armed forces must be looking at these issues. But as I said, for us, we have to monitor it very carefully from the perspective of refugee flows and nuclear weapons. Earlier, when there was a similar crisis beneath, there had been assurances given informally by the then American administration under Biden that Pakistan's nuclear weapons were all secured. The impression we got was that the Americans had secured their nuclear weapons. If that is the case, then that's fine. If the nuclear weapons of Pakistan are under American control in Pakistan, that's fine. But we need assurance on that. Moreover, you cannot rule out that the Baluchi Liberation Army could use one of those nuclear weapons. There are 3 sites controlled in Baluchistan, that my military colleagues colleagues from the police services could confirm this. They could be used against Pakistan Punjab, in which case Pakistan Punjab could make the fatal error of using nuclear weapons on its own people in Baluchistan. You cannot rule out. So therefore the difference between what is happening on civil war, descending into civil war in Pakistan and other parts of the world,
Right, ma'am.
that in this particular case, Pakistan is a nuclear weapon state which has not ruled out the first option and which has a large nuclear arsenal that adds in great danger as we wait and watch and see what's happening in Pakistan.
Absolutely. And Sumit Peer, you know, the primary concern for a country like India, or perhaps any neighbor of a volatile and unstable state like Pakistan, would be the fact that it is a nation that is nuclear. It is a nation that is bereft of responsibility and scruples and morality. What happens to these nukes? The Americans are not there, the Russians are not there. There seems to be a stray factor when you talk about these nukes left in Pakistan. If the TTP or the BLA, or for that matter any terrorist organization, they happen to get their hands on anything that is nuclear, what are we staring down at?
Vineet, if you go by what the talk is, because nobody can say by 100%, nobody can be 100% confirmed about it. But there's a talk, there was a big hypothesis that in Biden's time, there was a convoy of 125, 130 cars. It started from the American embassy, went to a point, and I forget the name. There's something called Sea Point or something. It's in Karachi. And these cars came back with something. This was the biggest nuclear facility of Pakistan. And the grapevine says that most of their nukes are in a Saudi base, American base in Saudi Arabia. Pakistan has only a handful of nukes with them. That's why Biden at times indicated Pakistan's nukes are not a problem, because it's believed they don't have more than 3 or 4 with them. Most of them are taken by Americans to their base in Saudi Arabia. This is a hypothesis. I don't know how far it is true, and there's no way I can validate that it has happened, but that is what the grapevine says. Now, they had a facility called Deira Ghazi Khan, which Israel decimated long back. It is non-functional. Deira Ghazi Khan is non-functional. They cannot create new weapons. But yes, they have the technology, they have it bits and pieces, but with the amount of uranium they would have enriched, they can always create something called as a tactical bomb or a dirty bomb, chota bomb. Now, even that chota bomb can become a big problem when the things get out of hand. But the good thing is, all their facilities are in Baluchistan. And if you look at in Baluchistan, America wants Baluchistan because it has to settle Iran. It needs Baluchistan, Baluchistan airport, Baluchistan port. So Americans are interested in Baluchistan. Balochis have never said against Americans, have never worked against the American interests. Though America has identified them as a terrorist organization, but they don't cross each other's roads, right? Balochis are against Chinese. They have not let any Chinese interest, fructify in Balochistan. Today, Pakistani army cannot go beyond Quetta. They can't go beyond Quetta. That's not safe for them. So if Balochistan is in control of BLA, indirectly with the powers and forces of the world, I don't want to name them, if they are controlling the things, the good thing is that you can be assured that Deira Ghazi Khan is safe, and most of the facilities and silos, if they are still functioning, they are in good hands. But still there's an X amount of risk which remains, because everything is based on this hypothesis that they are in a Saudi base, American Saudi base in Saudi Arabia. That is what the deal is. But having said that, look, today the problem is there was a person who was heading the death squad in Baluchistan. That squad is the informal squad of Pakistan army, which kills, abducts and eliminates people. He was eliminated by BLA. After the brass was formed, 2 important things came. One from Rana Sanaullah, who said after the brass is formed that the days of Pakistan are over, and even Maulana Dizal, what we call him, that he also came up and said there are districts of Baluchistan which are literally beyond the control. Today, 90% of the Balochistan is not in the control of Pakistan or Pakistani army, is their graveyard, and 95% of KPK is not in their control. And if you look at this brass, the amalgamation of the forces, it also has Sindhu Desh army in it, which makes that Sindh is also vulnerable. So will become Karachi in due course of time. Just wait for some time. You will see Karachi will also be vulnerable. So what is Pakistan left with? Punjab and possibly Saraiki belt. Even in Saraiki belt, full control. So it is a tricky situation, but this is the natural way and karma of Pakistan. It has to explode in this way. It's not we have done anything, but it is how they're bought. You know, on this Hindu hatred, Bharat hatred, Ghazwa Hind, you can have a terrorist organization like Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed working. You cannot have got.
So Sumit, we have a paucity of time. Let me just quickly rope in Mr. Vaid as well before we end the show. Mr. Vaid, you know what happened in Pakistan today through the Baluchistan Liberation Army is despondently and starkly analogous and similar to what we got to see on the 14th of February in 2019 in Pulwama. Do you think Pakistan now, under this duress of having those snakes coming back to bite them, will reconsider its strategy as a state to not, provoke as well as promote terrorism?
I don't think the mentality of Pakistan is. I don't see any change of heart. They unfortunately, people have not much say in Pakistan. It's the establishment which rules, and establishment has no. I have in last 35 years of my career not seen any change, and I don't expect any change. The kind of hatred they have for India and Hindus and Ghazwa Hind and all this nonsense, which they have ruined their country. The whole new generation of jihadis they have created. It's going to become a monster and it will eat Pakistan. I am sorry, but this is what I personally feel. Today, as Sumit was saying, KPK is almost out of their control, and Baluchistan, you are seeing. Look at the kind of major incidents which are taking place. I think how long Pakistan army can hide the casualties. Only 2 days back, they lost 214 army men or security men, whatever you call them, including ISI people. And today, this attack must be as big, rather bigger than Pulwama. The kind of photograph you're seeing, the bus is completely blown off, and then I'm told that the fighters fired on the other convoy. It was convoy of I think 7, 8 vehicles or 9 vehicles. So some people must have been killed or injured even by firing. So not less than 40, 50 people have died, as what you can make out, because that bus is a 52-seater bus. It looks. So the casualty is huge. Pakistan army taking this huge casualty. They have actually lost control of Baluchistan.
Right.
So face saving, they may say whatever, jhoot jitna morji bole, but they have actually, because of their arrogance, I have seen since General Musharraf's time, they have landed in this situation because of their arrogance against these poor Baluchistanis.
Right, arrogance, and let me add another word to that complement. Their ignorance as well has led to what Pakistan has become today. It's a laughing stock of the world, it's a laughing stock of the subcontinent, and they're completely bereft of any resources, any respect or any respectability for that matter as well, and that is their own doing. Well, we've run out of time, but I'd love to talk about Pakistan and its failings for another hour or two, but unfortunately we have to wrap up now. Thanking all our guests for being a part of this conversation. We take a short break. Be right back.